Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are continuing the regionals grind, and we have for you guys today a top 8 performance that I had at the Stay Weird Gaming regionals over the weekend with nothing else but tri-brigade Spright. This is not your stereotypical tri-brigade list for Spright at all. I will say, however, this is going to be the best variant of tri-brigade for the format, but not the best version of Spright. The lines for the tri-brigade are very well telegraphed, and it's not like necessarily the hardest thing to counter on the board. So if you're wanting to play this deck, you've got to know your matchups, and you've got to know just your interactions in general. It's a big thing, so this isn't going to be something that if you're new to the game or you're new to tri-brigade, that you will pick up instantly, because you've got to know a lot of different interactions and everything. Before I go into the deck profile, we will go over our matchups. Round 1, I played against Marincess. We ended up going to a tie after 50 minutes, which sucked. I hated it, but there's nothing we could do about it. So we started off the day XO1. Round 2, we went up against someone from main, like an old name from the Dueling Book main menu that we may be familiar with in Professor Eevee. Only we didn't know it was each other at the time, which was even funnier. But they were on Tier Limit in a very spicy version of Tier Limit. We ended up taking it 2-1 against them. And then our only loss of the night came in round 3 when we got paired up with Cam the Man Neil. And I'm not going to reveal exactly what they were playing, but they were on one of the wildest decks I've ever seen in my life. We got 2-0'd by Cam Neil. Like, I expected it. I saw Cam's name on the list, and I told him straight up right before the match started, I was like, I saw your name on the list. Should I just quit now? And he laughed at me and said, no, we should just have fun with it. And I did. But it's still, Cam Neil, I can't be upset or anything. Round 4, our opponent no-showed. He had actually dropped from the tournament 2 hours previously, but was never actually put on the drop list. So we went through, we were fine there. Round 5, we went up against Pure Spright. We ended up going 2-1 against them for the win. So at this point, there were 6 rounds. We were bubbling at this point. Round 6 comes up. We're against Danger Tier Limit. And I gotta say, we had a hard-fought battle against Danger Tier Limit, and we took it 2-1. Most of my matches of the night were against, actually all but 2, were against some form of Tier Limit. So Tier Limit really is the deck to beat for this meta. And this deck right now, like tri-brigade Spright, my version, has some techs and some outs to it, but it's a gamba. Like, you don't know what they're going to hit, you don't know how they're going to play. It's definitely just a huge learning curve, and if you're new to tri-brigade, I do not recommend playing this deck in the format right now, because you'll get blown out by something like Danger Tier Limit, or just Tier Limit in general, if you're not careful. But let's go over into the deck list. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our amalgamation for the tournament. We were on 45 cards. We, because of the entry deadline for the deck list and just entry itself, so we didn't get a round 1 loss, we didn't actually get any testing in before the event. All my testing came with the Zodiac crew right afterwards, and before I get into the list, just huge shout outs to Robbie Cole, to my friend Eric, who not only let me borrow the Spright engine, but since he saw it was my birthday next month, gave me the entire Spright core. So I am forever indebted to you. Enrated, fucking Fenner, thank you all guys so much for just helping me test, helping me go through this. Bleach, Danky, everybody, Dosto, all the support that you guys gave me, it's great. Like, you guys are amazing. I wouldn't be this far in the game without people like you. But enough pleasantries. Let's get into the list. We were on 2 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom underperformed. I've been seeing people saying that Ash doesn't even belong in this format. I kind of have to agree. Ash will hit one thing. It's not a turn ender like it used to be anymore. Ash will have its time in the format again, but it's not right now. DD Crow, I think in future builds of this, I will bump this up to 3 because DD Crow is so good. Not only in this build is it searchable, but it's an instant turn stopper for stuff like, or at least an instant play stopper for stuff against stuff like Tier Limit. Just banishing whether they're triggering their Havness, their Sheeran, or their Merly. Just go ahead and DD Crow it, banish it, stop that interaction at least. One Ghost Ogre. Not only do we only have one Ghost Ogre, it's a E-Telly target, but it still is a great hand trap for the format. We only run one because, I mean, E-Telly, bring it out. If you open it, great, fantastic. We are on triple copies of Cypherane Gamma and the one Driver, which is down here. Gamma was amazing. I got to Gamma a Toad earlier in the night for a top deck, not, mind you, it was wild. Gamma, also your extender for, like, E-Telly. If you, for some reason, open 2 E-Telly, just go ahead and get 2 Gamma, and you got full Spright combo, which, in turn, is also full Tri-Brigade combo as well. Alright, people I've been seeing in the Tri-Brigade community are really divided on this card right now. I was talking with Calvin Jin, one of my good friends, who was also recently had tops with Tri-Brigade Spright, and yes, Cat is extremely fragile. Cat, if it gets hit, is your choke point. You will lose. But, this is a major but, and this is why I decided to play it. If Rescue Cat resolves, you win your game. Rescue Cat by itself is a 1-card combo, not only for your Tri-Brigade, but for your Spright line. So, I feel like it is a necessary evil to go ahead and play this card. If you get hit on it, I mean, you may lose, but if you want to maximize your 1-card starters, I really recommend Rescue Cat. So many times that it resolved over the event, I won. I can't literally tell you anything else. And then we've got our Spright package. We've got 3 Spright Blue. We've got the 1 Carrot. We've got the 3 Spright Jet. The 1 Red. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You're always going to want some form of ratio of these. We're going to go into our Tri-Brigade package. We've got 3 Fractal. We're only on 2 Karis. I've been seeing people max out on Karis. I've also been told that Karis has been ran at 1. I feel like 2 is the sweet spot here because you'll summon it off of the Rescue Cat if you get the chance, and it's also going to be your search and follow-up to go into more combos and everything to finish off your inboard. Triple of the best Tri-Brigade card in the entire deck, Tri-Brigade Kit. Honestly, also, no cap, if you know me, you know my favorite card in the entire game is Tri-Brigade Kit. I love her to death, and she is everything for this deck. And then you've got your 3 Nerval. Some people are playing 2 Nerval, which I don't understand at all. I mean, Nerval is just an amazing card. It gets you your search for any of your Tri-Brigade cards. You are perfectly good to go there. And we went over the Driver. Spells, we're looking at the 1 Called by the Grave. It comes up. It was really great for the event. It's not just for hand traps. It's to stop stuff like Totally Awesome. It's to stop the Tier Limit cards. It's very versatile. It's very good right now. We are on the 3 Emergency Teleport. Enough said about that. This is where my build differs from a lot of different Spright builds, a lot of different Spright Tier Limit builds, or not Tier Limit, excuse me, Spright Tri-Brigade builds, but we're playing 2 Smashers main decked. This was a meta call in my testing and everything, just with different versions of this deck. I've been running in against stuff like Mystic Mine, against Floodgates, against Runic. This card single-handedly deals with both of them, and it comes up more than once, so you want to have access to more than one. In future builds of this deck, I will be playing Pot of Desires, and I almost guarantee you I will be bumping Smashers up to 3. I feel like it is way underrated, this format, and it is very, very good. I can't underestimate this enough. And we're also on our 3 Spright starters. Starter is the same exact card as Rescue Cat. It is a 1-card starter. It does everything for you, and you're in a good position once you resolve Spright starter. And then our traps, we're on 3 Imperm and 2 Revolt. Revolt is 1 card I've been going back and forth on multiples. I feel like it's good at 2 right now. I may cut it down eventually to 1, but if we play Desires, it's going to be staying right where it's at. For the side deck, we are playing 3 Droll and Lock. Honestly, I thought I was going to see stuff that searched a lot, especially since this was like a smaller regionals. This was only like a 61-person regionals, I remember correctly. So I thought Droll was going to be a good call. Turns out Droll really didn't do much at all during the entire night. Dark Ruler, didn't sight it in as much as I thought I was going to, but Dark Ruler still, whenever I did sight it in, it was a good blowout card. It helped me like put pressure on and take games. Harpy's Feather Duster, very funny, very good. Just especially against back row, or for back row removal, to get rid of floodgates, to get rid of everything. It's so good. And then double Super Poly, because we are playing the Garura in the extra deck, just so we can try to go ahead and get rid of hard to break boards. Triple Anti-Spell was an MVP of the entire tournament, though. Anti-Spell was one of the cards I always sided in, and it shut out so many tier players. It shut out so many it shut out so much, and it was so good for just the call to play. And then 3 Old Man Say No, Solemn Johnson here. Solemn Judgment, what can you say? You really can't be too upset about Solemn Judgment. I feel like it's a necessary evil, and yeah, I just can't say more about this card. But for the extra deck, for our Tri-Brigade stuff, we are on 2 Shirig, which is your non-targeting banisher that you'll summon off of Revolt. You're on the 1 Fairjit, the 1 Bearbrum, so you can go ahead and search your Revolt, and then you are on double Dragon Lords. If you notice, we aren't playing the Doom Eagle, we aren't playing Rugal, they're not needed. If you also noticed in the main, we also are not playing Tanky. Tanky also itself is not needed. You search a lot already, you already have access to so many different pieces of interaction, you don't need any more. And we aren't running the access line in here, so there's no use in running something like the Doom Eagle right now. That's just me. I mean, also we didn't have access to something like the access line, so we couldn't really go there. So we had to make up for it in different scenarios here. But we're also playing double Spright Elf. We're playing 1 Almirage. It actually came up for me in the tournament. I had normal summon Nerval. I had the Karis in hand. So we went normal summon Nerval effect to search for just any like Tri-Brigade monster, and then we went off for full combo from there. It was very niche, very few and far between it happens, but that's why the Almirage is in there, just for that situation. And then, in theory, Pit Knight Early is amazing. Pit Knight Early is a boneless imperm, from what I was telling everybody over the weekend, but it really lacked. I mean, it's definitely just a generic card to go to for your inboard and a theoretical negate, but it also misses timing. It also, yeah, it's just a lot of different variables. I mean, I've got it to go off once and it won me like that game, but people just deal with it. I can't tell you how many times it and Elf got super polyed for Mud Dragon, so just be wary that you are setting yourself up for a super poly big time if you end on Pit Knight Early and Elf, but it's still a necessary part of your inboard. We are on the Zeus line, so we've got the Sky Cav, which MVP, amazing. We've got Downward, we've got Zeus. We made Sky Cav in round 7 against Tier Limit. It was game 3. They had pretty much nothing else on board, locked under Anti-Spell, and they had 1 card in hand. They had already went through the line. I broke their board, did everything I needed to. I went for the Zeus line, wiped their board, and then they top decked for turn, left with 2,000 life points left, looked at their hand, and just said, yeah, good game, you got it. Their top deck was Red Reboot. We had no traps, nothing. I don't even think they had a monster left in hand. So, again, Zeus line. Against Tier Limit, I don't recommend it, but if you're in a position like I was, definitely go for it. I mean, if they top deck like a Havnus or a Sheeran, I mean, what can you do? You're on double Gigantic Spright. I've been seeing a lot of builds for Tri-Brigade Spright, only playing 1 of the Gigantic and 1 Elf. I feel like that's completely wrong. You need 2 of each. They're amazing for you to just continue your plays, to extend and do all that. Plus, this is nib protection, baby. You can't be upset with nib protection. And the last card in the extra deck is Garura. We never went into it once, but it was great just to have there because we have Super Poly, we had access to it. So it's just a great board breaker to have. So that is the end of the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment below telling me what you think of my list, what you would change in the future. And until next time, I love you guys just the way you are, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, morning, or wherever it is where you're at.